NBC News in depth tonight. A former super lobbyist in Washington is reportedly negotiating a guilty plea deal with federal prosecutors in a corruption investigation that could spell big trouble for some big-time lawmakers. The investigation into Jack Abramoff started as a limited inquiry into Indian casino lobbying, but now it has become a much bigger case involving primarily Republican lawmakers and aides suspected of accepting favors in exchange for legislation. Now the threat is, if Abramoff talks, he might start talking about his big-time friends, some with household names. In depth tonight, here is NBC's Andrea Mitchell.
Republican lobbyist Jack Abramoff, now a potential time bomb for leading members of Congress whom he used to wine and dine. Facing trial next month on unrelated fraud charges in Miami. Government officials say Abramoff is negotiating with federal prosecutors. Abramoff and his lawyers refused to comment today. The deal offered say people close to the case. He would plead guilty in exchange for a reduced sentence if he talks about his Washington connections, including former Majority Leader Tom DeLay. Potentially bad news for leading members of Congress and executive branch officials.
You're not just looking at one or two people. I think that what the federal prosecutors are looking at is a pattern that would involve a larger number of people.
Prosecutors want to know more about DeLay's ties to Abramoff, who allegedly paid for a golf outing with DeLay to Scotland's legendary St. Andrews in 2000 and to Russia in 1997. Total cost, $127,000. Also under scrutiny, Ohio Republican Bob Ney, who placed 2 speeches in the congressional record supporting Abramoff's business interests and took a 2002 golfing trip to Scotland with Abramoff. Mr. Ney, who has not been charged, says he was tricked by Abramoff. The pressure on Abramoff has been growing. Last week, his Miami fraud case co-defendant Adam Cadan agreed to testify against him. That follows a guilty plea in November by Michael Scanlon, another Abramoff associate.
Mr. Scanlon, what are you going to do now? Can you talk at all about your plans or your thoughts or looking ahead at all?
I really don't have anything at this moment, but you guys will be seeing me around.
As the investigation widens, members of Congress are also feeling the heat. Last week, both Montana senators felt compelled to return campaign contributions.
Many are still nervous about getting caught up in what could prove to be the biggest congressional scandal story in a century or more.
Though most of Abramoff's connections were Republicans, in the latest NBC News Wall Street Journal poll, 79% of those questioned said they believe corruption and illegal activities are a problem for both parties. Andrea Mitchell, NBC News, Washington.